Hello, it's me TFL Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to this month's end of month bot haul for March 2020. Now you've probably seen from the thumbnail that didn't get an awful lot of stuff this month. Only 7 items have I got here to show you. I think the reason why is pretty obvious because of this whole, viral crisis that's going on. I mean, it's hit the UK pretty hard. I mean, it's affecting the rest of the world and it's making life difficult to continue being a habitual Transformer collector such as myself. It's making life difficult for me to, to carry on buying the stuff that I want. I'm going to talk a bit more about that at the end of the video because obviously, going forward into next month, it's looking a bit dodgy. But let's talk about this month. So now March. Now, usually I like to buy a lot of stuff at the beginning of the month. The first day of the month I send out a bunch of online orders, usually for my, my Korean figures and, stuff from dealers and traders in the Far East. But because of this whole viral thing, I'm not sending out for international packages. Well, not from the Far East. I have bought some stuff from a guy in the Netherlands more recently, especially this month. But I'm just not touching international packages for obvious reasons. So the first start of the month, the first sort of like 8-9 days, it was like, what can I buy? What is there to buy? I mean, it was like there was nothing tempting me, nothing worth pulling the trigger on. And I was beginning to think, is this going to be a repeat of the bot stop that I did back in, what was it, September 2018, was it? Where I went cold turkey for a full month and didn't buy any bots. It's kind of similar to that. But then I decided, I had a look on eBay and I noticed a couple of things. On one with a UK seller, it was an auction actually. There was an item on auction for a figure that I've been after for a while. And I managed to get it for a decent price. And after buying that, I thought, well, I want to buy something else. So then I went on eBay again, and I looked at this guy called, what's his name? Garut Camaro in the Netherlands. And I bought something off him last month, and I looked on his website, and he's got loads and loads and loads of stuff, from all different Transformer lines. His prices are pretty good, and his shipping prices are okay. And he had a few figures in his shop that, I wanted to get. So I pulled the trigger on one of them. And then, it was a case of waiting for those figures to arrive. But before those figures arrived, a few days later, I placed that order on the 9th of March. And then on the 12th of March, I placed another order for another figure. But, you'll see that in a bit. Also, something else I did this month, which you've probably noticed, is I've reintroduced my unboxing series called What's in the Box Wilderness, whereby I get a package, I show you the package, I open it up and go What's in the Box Wilderness, and then I'll show you what I bought. Now I did this back in 2016. This unboxing series because I did the season 1 of the end of month bot hauls in 2015, but then I changed my bot buying strategy for the beginning of 2016, and I didn't think it was worth carrying on doing the end of month bot hauls because I wouldn't be buying as many bots. I didn't think that the videos would be worth doing, so I stopped doing those, but decided to do an unboxing series instead. So I introduced this unboxing series, which ran for the first couple of months in 2016. Unfortunately, I got a bit carried away with it. I think I did 6 unboxing videos in January, I think 4 in February, and I think 2 in March. I went a bit mad with it, and towards the end I was getting these naysayers putting comments on my videos because they were a bit upset, because I was basically being a big old show-off, showing off all these fancy third-party and figures that I bought, and people were getting a bit upset with me and putting really nasty, mean comments in the comments section. Because of that, I stopped doing them. But anyway, last month, you'll probably notice I didn't do any extra video content. So February, it's bookended by my end-of-month bot hauls, and there's nothing in between. And I thought, well, I've got to do something. Usually I do my Korean toy reviews, but I'm not buying Korean toys at the moment for obvious reasons. And yeah, so I thought, let's do this unboxing series. So I've decided to spread them out instead of like doing them as soon as the parcel and the package comes in. What I'm doing is I'm still doing them when the package comes in, but I'm recording them and then putting them on scheduled uploads. So I will do one a week, and it seemed to me like the last two I did them on a Wednesday. So I did 3 unboxing videos for this month for the first 3 figures that arrived, but I didn't do any unboxing videos for the rest of the stuff that arrived. So there's 4 items here which you haven't seen already. But anyway, first thing to arrive, which arrived on the 12th, which was Thursday. And it was at my first order this month from that Garut Camaro guy. And what he does is he throws these little, repro label things in. And I've got a couple of these already. And I got 2 this month because I did 2 purchases from him. So I got this. I got the IGear PP05M Medical Specialist. And it's their... You could argue it's their version of a Masterpiece-esque Ratchet, and it's a decent figure. It's pretty good. I mean, I'd seen somebody reviewed this years ago. I think it was Few Adams did a review on this, or the Ironhide version, because they did an Ironhide version of this, and I thought that looks pretty sweet. And I've been meaning to get it, but never actually got around to buying it. I noticed that Garut had got it in stock for a decent price, so I bought it, and it arrived on the 12th. And yeah, he's a decent figure. Pretty fiddly transformation. When you're going back into van mode, squeezing the arms back into the van mode is a bit of a struggle. The legs are a bit fiddly as well because they've got these panels which are on these sort of like hinge link things, and then he's got these like die-cast heel spurs which were a bit loose. I mean, obviously this is a used figure, but it came with all its accessories, and it came with the repro labels as well, which haven't applied. So yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty decent. I like him. He's all right. So he was the first thing that arrived this month. iGear PP05M Medical Specialist, but when you look at PP05M, it looks like possum, so I just call him the possum. So yeah, he arrived. He was the first figure that arrived, and I did an unboxing video on him. And then on the same day, was it the same day? No, it wasn't. I got that wrong. Yeah, he arrived on the 12th. Then on the 13th, the following day. Now this was that figure I got on auction. I did a play on auction. Got it for 31 quid. Again, used, but it's complete. Done an unboxing video on it. Humans Alliance Roadbuster. Yes, wanted to get this because I can, for a couple of years I've been looking at it and thinking that looks good. I've got the deluxe version, which it doesn't do the Stealth Force thing with all the guns sticking out in its vehicle mode. It's just a plain looking NASCAR. It's a decent figure. A lot of sort of that mucky grey plastic on it, which looks a bit odd. They haven't really bothered to paint it properly. But I can remember seeing pictures of this version and thinking, well, that looks really good. So I decided to get it. Got it for 31 quid, complete with box and accessories and everything. Yeah, he's a decent figure. Now, this is obviously a Human Alliance figure, and I've bought 2 Human Alliance figures this month. And I've come to the conclusion that Human Alliance figures, they're absolute bitches to transform. They're not fun. They're in no way intuitive. They are no way fun to transform. They are absolute buggers to transform. This guy's no exception. Like I said, this guy's no fun. But he's not as bad as some of them. I will say, out of all the Human Alliance figures, I've got 4 or 5 Human Alliance figures now. This guy is probably the easiest to transform. I have been mucking around with him quite a lot this month. He was like the second thing I got, and I've been messing around with him quite a lot. And yeah, obviously being Human Alliance, part of the reason why they're such buggers to transform is because you get like the little figure that comes with it, the little driver figure, and it has to fit in the cockpit of the car mode, which means the space inside the car mode has got to be left, empty for this figure to fit in the driver's seat. So that means, things like the arms are made up out of folded panels which are from the periphery of the vehicle mode. So it has a lot of extra joints on it which don't really need to be there, because normally on a Transformer toy, the cockpit of the car is taken up with bits of leg, bits of arm, maybe the waist or the chest or something. There's something stuffed in there in that void. On these figures, that doesn't really work, and I think that's the reason why these things have such fiddly transformations, because they have to move move the parts of the arms and legs to the other parts of the vehicle, and they have all these extra engineering joints to make it work. I mean, this guy's got so many joints in his legs and his arms. That's the reason why they're such buggers to transform. And you get an unusual looking robot mode as a result. But again, it plays well to the movie aesthetic, so they're not too bad, but like I said, they're not fun or intuitive to transform. They're buggers to transform. This guy isn't easy to transform, but I can do him, and I have been messing around with him quite a lot this month, so he's alright. I quite like him. He's okay. Right, so next, now another figure that I did an eBay strike on, Masterpiece. For some reason, this was on the 12th. I decided to look on eBay for Masterpiece figures. Now, I have got a bunch of Masterpiece figures. I'm not a Masterpiece collector by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not a huge fan of Masterpiece figures, but there are some Masterpiece figures I like to get because I like that particular character and I just want a bigger, more complex transformation, better engineered version of it. And I was looking through. Obviously, I was looking on UK sellers, not international sellers. I was looking at UK sellers, and I was looking down at all the Masterpiece figures, and I saw one, and I thought, you know what? I actually wouldn't mind one of those, because I've got the G1 figure, and I've got the Siege version of this figure, and it'd be nice to get the Masterpiece figure to go with and make the little trifecta, make the 3 different versions of the same character. So yeah, I bought him, got him for 50 quid, which was a pretty good price. It's used, it's not brand new, it's used, but it did come with the collector's coin, which was quite good. And when it arrived, I was a bit curious as to know, is it an original one or is it a fake? Because we know a lot of the Hisui car bots get ripped off, and they do KOs of them, which are pretty close to the original. But when it arrived, I was looking on the packaging, and it looked pretty legit to me. It came with the collector's coin, and all the instructions had all the copyright labels on and everything. So I was pretty pleased with it, and done an unboxing on it. So you've obviously seen it. Masterpiece MP14 Red Alert. So decided to get this. Didn't go for the Sideswipe or the Lambor version. Not a massive fan of G1 Sideswipe, to be honest. I don't know what it is about Red Alert. I kind of like Red Alert, but not because I'm a particular fan of the character. I quite like the colours, the Lamborghini, and the red and white fire colours looks pretty cool. Like I said, I've got the G1, I've got the Siege version, so I thought it'd be good to get this guy to go with them. He's all right. He's in pretty good condition. Joints are tight. Transforms okay. Came with all his accessories in the original box with all the 2 sets of instructions. He had I think they had Chinese instructions and Japanese instructions. It was something weird. There was 2 sets of instructions in the box. 2 different Eastern languages. But yeah, he's fine. He's great. Like the pretty good figure. So he arrived, and he was the 3rd figure that arrived, and obviously I did an unboxing on it. So yeah, and that was that. Right, now the next thing. Now this one's a bit, it's not an actual Transformers figure, it's a 3rd-party upgrade for an official figure. And I can remember when this guy was first announced, or this set was first announced, I can remember seeing the pictures of it and thinking, wow, that looks amazing, I want one of those. But I never actually got around to buying one. And for some bizarre reason, I went looking, was it the middle of the month? yeah, it was exactly in the middle of the month. It was Sunday the 15th of March. I went on online and I was looking around for this figure, and I actually found it in stock with Omega Lock. And I was looking at the price, and it was kind of pricey. It was like £55 plus their £5.50 postage. So all up, it come to just over £60, and it's a lot of money for a third party upgrade. But when you look at the figure that it creates, I was willing to make the plunge, and I did some checking to see where else I could get it from. And the only other place I saw it available was TF Direct, and they were asking like nearly $70-80 for it. And with the price of the pound nosediving against world currencies at the moment, it's really dropping as regards to other currencies, especially the dollar, because the UK is suffering so much with this quarantine, lockdown, social distancing, viral crisis, and all that stuff that's going on at the moment. It's really struggling. Our country's really struggling, and of course the world markets are giving us a beat down as a result. So I decided, well, the thing is, the figure that you need, that this upgrades, is also a figure that it's a repaint of a Voyager figure from Combiner Wars, and it isn't an exclusive repaint. It's not like a Japanese exclusive or a Collectors Club exclusive or a convention exclusive. It actually came out in the main line. It was just a repaint of this mould that came out in a later wave of the main line, and I passed on it when it first came out. I wasn't interested in getting it, even though I could have argued it could have worked as a White Prime Ultra Magnus. But anyway, I didn't get it. But for some reason now, this figure goes for stupid scalper prices. It's like, it goes for like, sort of £50-60 for a Combiner Wars Voyager figure. And it's like, you what? It ain't worth that. But anyway, for whatever reason, it's scalper bait. And I haven't got the figure, and I really need one. And the figure that I'm talking about is this. Yes, it's a Combiner Wars Voyager Battle Core Optimus Prime. It's the white repaint of the Optimus Prime mold from Combiner Wars. And like I said, I passed on it when it first came out, and now it goes for outrageous, exorbitant prices. Well, way more than it's worth. Let's put it that way. So I haven't got that, but the upgrade kit that goes with it, which is this thing, the SND or Shigeru Ningyo Do 04 Primo X-Mortice. This upgrades it into this. It basically turns it into Nova Prime. And when I saw it, I thought, that looks amazing. And so obviously I pulled the trigger on this from Omega Lock for just over £60. Again, a lot of money, but there's a lot of... I mean, you have to basically take the figure apart and swap all these bits over. I mean, Bisto Yeti, they did an Optimus version of this, which turns the Combiner Wars Optimus Prime into like the IDW style Optimus Prime, and Bisto Yeti did a review on it, and it looks really good. But this looks absolutely amazing. But it looks awesome. So yeah, I pulled the trigger on it and I got it. So now, I just need to get the core figure to go with it. So currently my most wanted figure at the moment is this Battle Core Optimus Prime. And yeah, the trouble is, I want to try and get one just under £40, because to me, I've paid just over £60 for the upgrade kit, and ideally I'd like to get the price of the thing as a whole just under £100, or around about £100, because I don't think it's worth much more than that. I mean, I'm kind of limited the fact that I paid so much for the upgrade kit, but the two places it was available, this was the cheapest option. So yeah, So yeah, I'm after that Battle Core Optimus Prime. I kind of have got somebody who says he's got me one for a price that's near enough, but we'll have to wait and see on that. So I might be getting one next month. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so when you put it together, you end up with this. And yeah, that's what it looks like when you've put all the stuff on. It just looks absolutely amazing. Incredible looking figure. And I think, as I had some spare cash floating around at the middle of the month, it was worth going for it, even though I had the problem of not actually having the base figure that I can add the upgrade kit to, which is a bit backwards when you think about it. Usually, you buy the figure first, then you add the upgrade to it. But I did it a bit arse about tit, but that's just me. But anyway, so I've got to get hold of one of those. So let's carry on. Let's keep things moving. I'm trying to keep this video short because I've only got 3 more figures to show you. So yeah, next. Now, yeah, it was Friday the 20th. Yeah, Friday the 20th. I was coming home from work, and obviously, I would have gone that weekend. On Saturday the 21st, I had planned to go to... I'd bought my ticket and I'd planned to go to the MCM Comic Con at Birmingham, but obviously pretty much all social events have been cancelled or postponed, so they've postponed it for 3 months. They rescheduled it to the back end of June. Whether or not it will go ahead, very much doubtful. I mean, the NEC's basically been turned into one of these temporary hospitals for... for all these sick people that they're expecting to get. So yeah, and I had planned to take an extra amount of money to the MCM Comic Con and go to In Demand and Filmy Boots with Earthrise figures and a few other bits besides. But as that didn't happen, I was thinking, well, what Earthrise figures can I get locally? So on the Friday, I came out of work and decided, you know what, I'm going to nip over to Smith's in Coventry, which was a bit naughty when you think about it, because I was doing an unnecessary journey, because this was the point where they were just announcing this, stay at home, don't make any unnecessary journey. They hadn't announced the full lockdown, but, they'd pretty much, said that, don't go out, don't go to social events, don't go to bars. It was that weekend that they shut the bars and clubs and pubs. So yeah, it was that. But I decided, I'm going to nip up the Foss and go to Smith's. So I went to Smith's and they had the figure in stock that I wanted, which was Earthrise Grapple. So I went to the counter. They were obviously doing the whole social distancing thing, and they had the counter sort of segregated people who were doing click and collect, people who were paying by card, people who were paying by cash. So I had to wait to pay for it, but I managed to get him. And I got home, and before I bought this guy, I'd seen a video from a guy called Larkin's Lair, who was doing a fix video for this figure. And what it is... this is money for old rope, because everybody knows about this. On the back, you've got these little pegs here, and they clip in to these pegs on the feet when you fold it up into vehicle mode. But the tolerance on these pegs was like excruciatingly tight, and because these pegs are only just attached, they're attached to the side of this panel, they're prone to breakage. You peg them into the feet, and then when you're trying to pull them out, they snap. So I knew, I'd heard about this problem, and then I saw Larkin's Lair did his video where he got some sandpaper and he shaved them down and made them, a nice snug sliding fit. So I did quality control repairs on this guy straight out of the box. As soon as I got him out of the box, I got some fine sandpaper and I did the whole shaving the pegs down and got them to their nice smooth sliding fit, and I fixed him. But I shouldn't have needed to do that. This figure should have been perfectly fine out the box, but he wasn't. So I had a known QC issue which I fixed, so he's perfectly fine now. But, you know, shouldn't have to do that. You know, you shouldn't buy a brand new figure and have to, you know, shave bit pegs down to make them fit properly. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, Grapple. Now, I haven't got, well, until now, I hadn't got a Grapple in my collection. I mean, I much prefer Inferno as a character because of something he did in the Marvel G1 comics back in the day. I much prefer Inferno. I will probably get the Inferno version of this mould when it comes out. I'm sure it'll be coming in a later wave of Earthrise. So yeah, he's all right. He's decent. He's a good little figure. The vehicle mode's a bit lumpy and ugly because of all the robot bits on it. I mean, the G1 figure does a much better job of making a realistic alt mode, but it's okay. He's decently articulated. He's got a lot of sort of features built in. I mean, he's got that claw thing that you can put. There's all the various pegs all around because they're still doing that, you know, sort of power up armor thing with the Battle Masters and stuff. So yeah, he's pretty good. He's a pretty decent figure. Looks nice. He's orange. I love the colour orange. So yeah, he works for me in that respect. So yeah, I've got my first Earthrise figure. Nipped over to Smith's and got it, even though probably shouldn't really have done that, but got hold of him. And I got him on the Friday the 20th. Then when I got home, I had a package delivery for some other items that I'd bought off eBay on Sunday the 15th of March. And these are the last two items that arrived this month. And again, I'd been on eBay and had a look through Mr. Garut Camero's shop and noticed a couple of other figures that I was thinking of or would like to get. And I made a play on them and they arrived. And the first of these two figures is this. Human Alliance Soundwave. Now, for quite a long time I've been looking at this guy thinking he looked pretty good and I wanted to get him. But the original one I think was a Japanese exclusive because the one I've got is used, but it's got like the Japanese kanji on it. It's got this massive great sticker on the bottom with all this Japanese writing on it. I think this is a Japanese original. It's not the KO. And so yeah, he was quite expensive, but Garut had one for a decent price. Trying to think how much I paid for it now. Just over 60 quid I paid for this. So yeah, got him. Now I have recently got the Studio Series figure, which is pretty good. And I got that as a stand-in for getting this, but now I've got the original one. And he does look pretty cool. However, I mean, his alt mode is really awesome. The alt mode is lovely. You know, that Mercedes SLS, brilliant with the gull wing doors that open and you can fit the little Human Alliance figure in. And he actually comes with Laserbeak. So there's Laserbeak figure. But this guy, then you try to transform him into robot mode. Now, remember what I was saying about Human Alliance Roadbuster earlier? Whoa, the transformation on this thing is awful. It's terrible. Oh my god, this thing is bad. And then what you end up with, the robot mode, it's got so many things wrong with him. Most noticeable is these legs. I mean, he's got these stupid skinny legs that are formed out of the trunk or the boot of the car. And it's got all these awkward joints in it. And you can see there. No, they hinge forwards. So, and he's got these stupid prong tripod feet as well. And you look at all the bulk he's got on his arm. I mean, the majority of the car mode is on his arms. And he's got, you know, like chunks of the hood and the roof hanging off the back of his arms. He's so top heavy. Getting this guy to stand up is nigh on impossible. He's so top heavy. And the legs are so awkward. and he's no fun to transform. It's bloody awful. It's horrible. And yeah, so I was not impressed with this when I transformed it. And then the robot mode you get is just it's terrible. It looks nice, don't get me wrong, it looks great, but physically it just so many things working against it. It's top heavy, the legs are useless on it. You know, it's so bad. It's so bad. And you know, he's quite pricey to get hold of an original one as well. And I've done that. I've bought one, and it's not impressed with it. I mean, the laser beak's a thing. It kind of transforms into a speeder bike, which the Human Alliance figure can ride. You know, like a Star Wars style speeder bike. But that's neither here nor there. But you know, Dark of the Moon Soundwave always seems to come with a laser beak sort of figurine of some description, and that was the one that came with this. Yeah, so not impressed at all with this thing. Definitely, yeah, possibly. Wow, yeah, it is possibly the worst thing I've got this month. Not impressed with it at all. And then the other thing that arrived in this package from off eBay from this guy in the Netherlands. Maketoys Cupola. Yeah, so again, I've been kind of thinking about getting one of these because I do that character mold set collecting, and I was toying with the idea of character collecting Chrome Dome, because I've got a bunch of the Chrome Dome molds from, you know, all the other Chrome Dome molds already, and the main one I was missing was the Masterpiece, third-party Masterpiece version from Maketoys. Now, Mr. Garut Camaro had both this and the Yes Model KO, version as well. And when this arrived, it had some QC issues on it, most notably that. Because I couldn't get that to stay up, but then I didn't realise that you're supposed to sort of clip it in like that. These little things on his front of his feet keep popping off as well. There's a few other bits like the front bits of the car mode don't plug in properly. So he's got a few QC issues, but he is a used figure. He's used. So you've got to take that into account. Someone's been messing around with him. I mean, this foot's kind of loose. This one's not too bad. This foot is just, the ball joint's a bit loose. But I can fix that. And I was a bit sort of worried that he'd sent me the KO version by mistake. But when I looked at a comparison video, which I think Ben Collectibles did, it's sort of they're very close. This and the Yes Model data clerk, they're very, very close. You'd be hard pressed to tell the difference between them, but there are a few little telltale signs. But apparently, loose feet are a known thing on the Maketoys original. So yeah, you could argue that that was a thing. Also, some of the details on the Headmaster are a bit different. I think that the moulding and painting on the Maketoys original is a little better than the Yes Model version. So I convinced myself that I'd actually got the original figure rather than the knockoff. But yeah, he's, like I said, he's got a few little QC issues, but that's just due to wear and tear. And I mean, this is an old mould. I mean, this is what, 3-4 years old. But he's decent, he's nice, and I bought him because I was thinking about getting, mould collecting Chrome Dome. So I've got him, and with that's all I got this month. Not a lot, as you see, but I did manage to spend round about my monthly budget. So I think all things considered, I didn't do too bad. So now, first and worst. The worst one's pretty obvious. But the first one, I did struggle with the best figure I got this month. And out of all the other bots I got, it could have been any of them. And it wasn't, I had to sort of like go through them individually and say, right, okay, this one, that one, and like the IGear medical specialist. On transforming him back to robot mode from vehicle mode, it was a bit fiddly, and like I said, he had a few little loose issues on him, so he didn't qualify for the best thing I got. Earthrise Grapple had to do the QC repair on him out of the box, so that knocked him down a couple of pegs. The QC issues on Cupola again knocked him down. So it was a toss-up between Red Alert and Human Alliance Roadbuster. And I was thinking about it and thinking, no, I was going to get to the point where I was going to toss a coin. But then I thought about it and I thought, you know what? Let's do this thing. First and worst. So, first, best and worst thing I got this month, they're both Human Alliance figures. Now, Roadbuster, like I said, I've messed around with this a lot this month. Since I got him, I've been getting him out and fiddling with him quite a lot. And I quite like him. And out of all the Human Alliance figures, he is probably the easiest to transform out of all the others I've got. This thing is the worst Human Alliance figure. I mean, he's right up there with Leadfoot. I mean, Leadfoot's a pain in the arse to transform as well. I still haven't figured out how to get Leadfoot's robot mode right. I mean, it's them the front wheels. You know, they're supposed to go up by his shoulders, but I end up having them in his belly. You know, it's really fiddly. So yeah, not impressed with this. Absolute pig of a thing to transform, and the robot mode just will not stand up properly because it's just too top heavy. It's got crap legs on it. No. But this guy, he's not too bad. The transformation is fiddly on him. Yes, it is. But, you know, his alt mode's nice. His robot mode's nice. He's decently articulated. He looks great. And it's Roadbuster. You know, it's a wrecker. So, no, I like him for that reason. So that is it for my haul. But before I go, I want to just go into this whole, you know, thing we're in at the moment. I mean, what does it mean to me being a habitual Transformers collector going forwards into this uncertain, difficult time of, you know, the quarantine lockdown, social distancing and all that jazz? Well, I mean, how am I doing in myself? I mean, I will say I've been going to work as normal up until Friday. As of this week, my work has instigated a thing where they've cut our workforce in half, and you know, the guys are going in on alternate days. So half of us are going in on one day, and half of us in the other day, and then it just alternates. And that came in yesterday. So I was at work yesterday, and I'm off work today because of this reason. That's why I can sit and do my end of month bot haul video. But I am on call out. Should an extra job crop up at work, they give me a call and I'll have to go into work and do the job. So I'm on call out the days I'm off. But yeah, things are moving on. But as a Transformers collector, what does it actually mean to me? It has been difficult this month. I have admitted that it was tough, especially at the beginning of the month. I didn't buy anything for the first 8 days, and usually that's when I do most of my purchasing is at the beginning of the month. There is things, you know, available from sellers in the Far East that I'm looking at, and so what does this mean for going forwards into April? I mean, things is worse than ever. I mean, you can forget going and buying Transformers at the shop. I mean, I was lucky to get this guy when I did. Had I waited another week, I wouldn't have been able to get him, because as of, you know, last week, this, you know, Friday just gone, you know, Smiths have shut their stores to, you know, footfall customers, and now you can only order stuff offline. So, well, online. So yeah, I got lucky there. But the postage service is still working. I mean, look at, you know, Mr. Zortrider's videos. Wait a minute, Mr. Postman, that he's been doing, where he's been getting deliveries coming in and doing, you know, sort of unboxing videos on them. So yeah, the post is still working, but for how much longer? I mean, sometimes at some point these posties are gonna, you know, get a cold or something, get a fever or a cough, and then they're gonna have to self-isolate and get off work, and sooner or later the postage system's going to grind to a halt. Courier firms are still working. They're putting into place various steps to negate the the social distancing thing. Well, to qualify for social distancing, like, when they deliver a parcel, they drop it on your at your front door, they knock the door, and then they retreat to a safe distance. So you have to open the door and pick the parcel up, and they're like, over 2 meters away. They don't do that to sign for anymore. So, there's all that going on. And then, obviously eBay is a bit iffy. I mean, buying stuff from the Far East. I mean, Bisto Yeti did a video where he got that Beast Box teardrop, that green cube that turns into a crocodile. He did a review on that, and he seemed to think, oh, Chinese parcels are moving again, they're working again, and it's like, are they really moving again? I'm not so sure. But I will say, I am sort of willing to test the water in that regard. There's a couple of small figures that I'm looking at a trusted seller on eBay that I may or may not pull the trigger on next month. We'll have to wait and see. So I might just try it to see what it's like. When parcels come in now, I do have a decontamination regime where I have some antiseptic spray, and I just put some gloves on and I spray the parcel down, wipe it down, let it sit for a while, and then I will open it, and obviously washing my hands as regular as anything, and all that stuff. Just being careful, just in case. I know Richard, Zort Rider, said that germs can last up to 24 hours on a cardboard surface and all this, and it's like, yeah. So you just got to be careful. But so next month, as in tomorrow. As I didn't go to MCM Comic Con this month, I still want to get hold of the Earthrise Wave 1 figures, most notably the Deluxes. I've decided I'd like to get all 4 of the Earthrise Wave 1 Deluxes, and it's a question of they're just starting to come out now, and it's a question of who's got them in stock and what price. So I've been looking around. There's a few retailers that have got them in stock. Some of the retailers, they do charge for postage, so you have to add that on top of the cost of the figures. Some dealers, some sellers, if you spend over a certain amount, then they can they can do free shipping. Like Smiths is doing that £19, £19 and over, and you get free postage. In Demand are doing like orders over £50 get free postage as well. So you can work that in with your orders. And I will admit, I am looking at trying to fill me boots with Earthrise Deluxes next month, but we'll have to wait and see on that. I'm not pretending it's going to be difficult next month. There's a few things I'm looking at that might be happening, so I should have something to show for next month. I'm not expecting it to be a bot stop and completely empty. I should be getting some stuff next month, but we'll have to wait and see. The unboxing videos, I think I will continue them. I'm not going to go mad with them. I'll probably do probably one a week, and we'll have to wait and see with that. But that's it. That's it for this video. That's it for this month's haul. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. We're sitting at home in self-isolation, bored out of your school. Oh, what can I do? Let's watch some videos on YouTube, Hopefully I'll get some extra views on this video because, people have got nothing better to do. Yeah, that's it. I've been TFI Wilderness. Thank you if you've watched my video and listened to me ramble on about a load of bollocks and bullshit. So, yeah. I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da.